Watch this.
He brags about all these things he wants to do or is doing, but his actions belie his words. Maybe the best metaphor was his claim to bring democracy to Venezuela. There was a big policy there. It flopped. And the president brags about his Venezuela policy? Give us a break. He hasn't brought an end to the Maduro regime. The Maduro regime is more powerful today and more entrenched today than it was when the president began.
You're making it too easy for us, Chuck. I feel like everybody on this channel works with somebody just like this guy. You know what I'm saying? Wagging his finger like a middle school hall monitor that just found a Red Bull. I mean, how do you even defend yourself after having to watch this video? Chuck was yelling at Trump like he forgot to turn the grill on. Turns out, Trump just cooked it low and slow, like a brisket Democrats complain about all day and then they brag about when they eat it. So I feel like he's kind of screwed now, y'all, because at this point, he's got to go on TV and just try to say, I was using reverse psychology, and a couple weeks from now, he's going to do an interview with George Snuffleupagus and say he planned it all along. I know that I don't have to convince anybody on this channel how much of a clown Chuck really is, but I really do feel like it's important to rub his nose in his own poo, so to speak, because he did it in our living rooms, y'all, with hundreds and hundreds of congressmen alongside with him. See, I figured it out. The Democrats always want this big headline that says, I yelled and the world obeyed. You know? Meanwhile, Trump is like, forget that. I'm going to play the long game that actually works. And now the Democrats, the same ones that booed Trump for not taking on Venezuela in his first term, are peeking over the fence, trying to see if Dad's had a couple beers now and he ain't expecting apologies. You know what I'm saying? Listening to Chuck is a lot like watching a guy who's looking up at a roofer all day long, standing in the shade, and then he has the balls to show up at the barbecue later on that night and say, man, we really nailed that roof down today. And I guess that's what I'm always saying on here is blue-collar folks understand something that Washington never will, and that is some jobs just don't look pretty while they're getting done. My granddad always told me, take your time, son, because you can't build a transmission by screaming at it, and you don't check crops to see if they're growing every 5 or 10 minutes. And I'll tell you this morning, you don't break a communist regime by making a speech on the Senate floor and hoping CNN claps. So I want to leave you with this for all the liberals that are concerned about Maduro, a poor dictator doing bad right now. I heard that Diddy was brought into his cell last night and he lovingly put his hands up on his shoulders and he said, don't worry, Maduro, they took my oil too.